Violence against Americans here in the United States is justified. Sharia authorizes murder against non-believers, beheadings, and more unthinkable acts. It's going to get worse and worse. You're going to have more World Trade Centers. It's going to get worse and worse, folks.
Now, fear is an incredibly powerful emotion. Firstly, it captures our attention like no other emotion can. We focus intensely on the thing that is giving us that fear. Secondly, it shuts down higher thinking. When we're terrified by a bump in the night, we don't think rationally about the fact that it's likely just the wind. Our critical thinking skills dip as we focus simply on protecting ourselves. And thirdly, fear feels crappy. We don't like to feel afraid. So the fastest way to get out of fear and to move towards a powerful emotion is to move into anger.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists. China's taking our jobs, they're taking our money. Syrians are now being caught at the southern border. We don't know who they are, could be ISIS. Would never have made that horrible, disgusting, incompetent deal with Iran. They're a terrorist nation.
Now, notably, the outlets for this anger are always outgroups. They're never necessarily segments of the voting population. They're Sharia Muslims or Mexican rapists, people that are not going to influence this election. And he sets it up so that if you disagree with him, you are on the side of the other. You are anti-American life. It's a very powerful position for him to take, even if it statistically doesn't make any sense with what's actually going on in the world. Now, with this fear that Donald has created, he takes a next step, and that is to imply and basically say that no one else will keep you safe.
Do you think this is tough and you're not being treated
This
fairly?
isn't tough and easy.
Imagine what it's going to be like dealing with Putin, or dealing with President Xi, or dealing with the Islamic terrorism that exists. This is a tough business to run for president.
I know. You're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is principled. You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at 3, so far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeb. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
This doesn't do a
Now, this might strike you as schoolyard bullying, and honestly, it is, but it has a very effective way of communicating that Donald Trump is the dominant force in any interaction that he has had in these debates with Jeb Bush, and the poll numbers reflect that. Jeb, with every single advantage, has plummeted. Here's another example of Donald Trump absolutely running over Jeb Bush at a presidential debate. And now pay attention to the number of crutch words that Jeb uses compared to Donald, the way that Jeb's face looks when Donald cuts him off. Donald comes across as the dominant personality in this interaction.
It doesn't work for anybody on this stage.
I was a businessman. I got along with Clinton. I got along with everybody. That was my job, to get along with people.
But the simple fact is...
Excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to...
The simple fact is, Donald, you cannot take...
More energy tonight. I like that. Look.
I was asked the question...
If you notice, Jeb is looking at Trump the entire time, while Trump never even looks in his direction. He's going to talk no matter what.
I didn't want... It was my obligation as a businessman to my family, to my company, to my employees.
Now, this might come across to you as a complete jerk move, but what people see behind that is strength, because honestly, Jeb Bush's personality cannot compete with the dominance of Donald Trump's. And now Trump has set it up such that he's created this climate of intense fear, and he's also made his opponents look completely inept when it comes to handling it, because they can't even handle him on stage. So he sets himself up as the logical strongman, and then promises Americans what they crave most deeply, which is a return to dominance, a return to that situation where we don't have to be afraid because we have the strong man leading us, and which in turn makes us feel more powerful. And he spells that sentiment out exactly when he says no one is going to mess with us.
I will rebuild our military. It will be so powerful and so great that we'll never have to use it. Nobody's going to mess with us, folks. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody's going to mess with us.
So there you go, Donald promising total dominance. Nobody's ever gonna mess with us. Here's another example of Donald Trump's style of black and white, everything you ever dreamed of rhetoric.
We're going to start winning so much that you're going to get used to winning instead of getting used to losing. Whether it's military, whether it's trade, healthcare, we always lose. We're going to always win again.
And you see here where most politicians might acknowledge that with effort and compromise you can achieve a certain goal, Donald Trump promises us what we really want, which is to win in every arena, every time, guaranteed. This is the 6-minute abs version of politics. Does it work? No. But do people buy it in droves? Absolutely. Now, this tactic of creating an atmosphere of fear, presenting yourself as a strongman, and promising the world is actually very, very common in the world of politics. The problem is, it makes you extremely vulnerable. lots of people are going to be attacking you from the other side, and if you're ever seen as weak, you come across as a hypocrite who cannot deliver on their promises. One of the most fascinating things about Donald Trump is that he's always presenting himself as a winner, and the most basic way that he does this is through social proof. So take a look at these clips just from his opening remarks at one of the debates.
But I began it talking about other things, and those things are things I'm very good at, and maybe that's why I'm center stage. People saw it. People liked it. People respected it. People like what I say. People respect what I say.
So you see over and over again that Trump emphasizes that he is a winner, that he has been a winner. He quotes his poll numbers. He gets